Thank you so much for joining us for another daily devotion. I hope that you're doing well in the middle of this season. And I know that it's been extended and there's been some extended loneliness, maybe, or extended hardship for you. And so we're praying for you, and hopefully this will encourage you. I hope that the Lord continues to reveal his presence to you, that you are the church. It's not a building, it's not a gathering. You're the church, set apart and built up as living stones. But I know this too, that sometimes we can grow weary. And so I would encourage you. I was walking around in my office today, and I looked over and I saw this. It's just a hook that was hanging on the wall. And if you look on the back of this, you see that it's a command strip. And so you just put this against the wall. And if you've used command strips, then you know how easy they are to use and useful, and how they can be a real resource to hold things up and without damaging the wall or having to put a hole in the wall. And so I love to have this in my office where I could hang a jacket or hang something that needed to be there. And what I realized, though, is that this morning when I came in, I had exceeded, or maybe I had put too much faith in the expectations of this little guy. And so when I hung up everything, suddenly it had fallen down, and it had fallen off, and it was laying in the floor, and the things that were hanging on it were laying in the floor. And it made me think about life. It made me think about you and me, and how so often we start out with great stick-with-it-ness. We start out with great perseverance, endurance, great plans, great hopes, great commitments. And then over time, as time goes, maybe we become less enduring. Maybe we become less stable, and maybe we become unglued. As the weights of this world pile up on us, as the weight of life, as the weight of all different kinds of struggles and circumstances come, and suddenly that weight starts to pull us away from stability, and we have a fall. I want to encourage you today that you would know the hope, and I want to encourage you in the perseverance, that you would continue to endure, that you would continue to persevere in the presence of God and in the Bible study, and as you continue to look to the hope, and be reminded of verses like Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. I'm reminded in Hebrews 10 as well. Hebrews 10 and verse 32, it says, but recall the former days when after you were enlightened, you endured a hard struggle with sufferings, sometimes being publicly exposed to reproach and affliction, and sometimes being partners with those so treated. For you had compassion on those in prison, and you joyfully accepted the plundering of your property, since you knew that you yourselves had a better possession and an abiding one. Therefore, do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward, for you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised. Today, I hope that you would look forward to your heavenly reward. Today, that I hope that you would ask God to give you great stick-with-it-ness, and that you would stay connected and stay committed to the very stable, the most stable thing that there is in all the world, and that is Jesus Christ and his word. And I pray that as you stick with it, that you will be able to walk through life seeing the burdens that come on, seeing the weight of issues and problems and struggles and sufferings, as it's alluded to here in the book of Hebrews. Suddenly you will see that the ability for you to remain strong, the ability for you to remain standing firm in the grace of our Lord is not in you at all, but it's in Jesus Christ, the one that keeps us connected to the Father. And so I hope today that you would know that his strength is perfect. His strength is great and all-powerful, and I pray today that he is holding you strong and steady in the middle of a lot of weight coming your way. We love you, we're praying for you, and we thank God for you every day. We look forward to seeing you again, but until then, we thank you for joining us with these daily devotions. Thank you so much. Be encouraged.